that Bermuda's economy grew 5.4% in real terms to total $6.3 billion in 2021. Bermuda's economy is rebounding strongly from the economic downturn experienced in 2020. Although we are not back to pre-pandemic economic activity, positive economic performance was recorded as 14 of the 19 industrial groups experienced economic expansion. At current prices, GDP increased by 5.8% in 2021. The three most significant industrial contributors to the growth in the 2021 GDP include international business, accommodation and food services, and professional, scientific and technical activities. International business activity continued to be the most significant contributor to Bermuda's economy, representing 28.1% of total GDP. The international business sector continued its year-over-year growth, increasing in value added by 8.4%, or $138.5 million in 2021. This was the largest annual growth in the international business sector since the 12.4% recorded in 2007. Business engaged in reinsurance, portfolio management services, and insurance brokerage services experienced the largest increases in value added. Jobs in the international business sector increased by 14%, or 172 jobs in total. This totals 4,412 jobs in that sector. International business remained the largest employment sector in Bermuda, and in 2021 employed 2,420 Bermudans, an increase of 89 from 2020 levels. The accommodation and food services industry was 86.1%, or $63 million higher in 2021. Value added for hotels increased by $61.3 million, reflecting a rebounding tourism industry. As pandemic restrictions eased, Bermuda experienced a rise in visitor arrivals and hotel occupancy. Value added for professional, scientific, and technical activities was 14.5%, or $45.2 million higher in 2021. The sub-industry groupings of accounting, legal, and professional service experienced the most significant increases in value added. Amongst the industries that recorded negative growth, construction and quarrying activity decreased by 3%, or $7.2 million. This decline was mainly attributed to an overall reduction in commercial construction projects. Financial and insurance activity fell 0.1%, and wholesale and retail activity decreased 0.7%, influenced primarily by lower sales of food, clothing, and building materials. The public is encouraged to review the 2021 GDP publication on the Bermuda government website. Today, the ministry is also announcing the release of the 2022 job market employment briefs from the Department of Statistics. The 2021 Employment Survey reference week was August 29th to September 4th, and the brief examined the employment changes between 2020 and 2021. In February 2022, preliminary data from the 2021 Employment Survey was released in the National Economic Report. The results provide an initial indication of consecutive job losses at the aggregate. Bermuda's overall level of employment contracted as the 2019 coronavirus pandemic continued to linger. Total field jobs declined by 1,111, or 3.4%, from the 32,427 jobs in 2020 to 31,316 in 2021. The reduced operations of the Fairmont Southampton and the Elba Beach Hotel, along with job contractions in Bermuda's two largest banks, significantly impacted the 2021 employment survey results. The job losses in accommodation and food services and financial and insurance services totaled 668 jobs year over year. Notwithstanding the lagging 2021 employment numbers, the government is confident that there will be improvement in the employment landscape in 2022. Occupations with the highest percentage of non-Bermudians were head waiters, sous chef, farm workers, actuaries, home-based care workers, cooks, assistant cooks, auditors, pharmacists, accountants, maitre d's, registered nurses, housekeeper private services, and software engineers and developers. These high-demand occupational categories highlight jobs that are commonly held by non-Bermudians. The Department of Workforce Development will partner with relevant organizations to expand and realign training opportunities to increase the percentage of Bermudians in high demand. More in-depth cross-tabulations on Bermuda's job market are published in the 2021 Employment Survey Tabulation Set. The 2022 Employment Briefs and the tabulation set are available on the Bermuda government website. While general economic performance is good news, we continue working together to sustain Bermuda's economic growth and increase the number of jobs available. The government will continue to facilitate the expansion of sustainable growth to ensure that we have a business ecosystem that allows companies to thrive. The country's 2021 economic performance creates a strong platform for further economic growth and increased opportunities for Bermudians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. At this time, are you welcome questions from the media?
Hi, Gary Foster Scotland, Bermuda Broadcasting. You refer primarily in comparison to 2020 without directly referring to how we compare percentage-wise to pre-pandemic numbers. Are you able to give us some of those percentages?
So in the annual report that we're releasing, we'll have a data series that dates back to 2017, so those comparisons can actually be made.
Are you able at this moment to give us a ballpark of where we're looking GDP-wise?
So pre-pandemic, if we look at GDP at constant price, the economy was at, in 2019, 6.45 million. In 2021, we're at 6.33 billion. I'm sorry, those are billions.
And one of the, moving to something else that people might be interested in, what's happening overseas with the fall of the pound. Are you able to tell us what thoughts you're having of whether how that might impact Bermuda?
Typically, when there are fluctuations in currency, it has an impact on the import and exports of goods and services and the cost of those goods. The United Kingdom is not a major trading partner with Bermuda, so it would have minimum impact. We have a fluctuating pound. However, for consumers, certainly those persons who attend university overseas and frequent the UK, the purchasing power of those individuals certainly increase with a reducing pound.
Okay. And moving to another area, any growth that we have in GDP now be balanced against the prospect that in time our aging population will be able to support the economy and the need for growth working population, which itself would obviously increase GDP. So sources within the international business suggest there are opportunities for expansion within the sector. I said 2021 international business was a major part of our economy and continue to grow. Have you met with stakeholders yet to discuss such growth? And if not, why not?
ongoing consultation with the international business sector. As it pertains to the Asian report, after we have our roundtable conversation, is the ministry's aim to have specific stakeholder consultation with the impacts of, to discuss the impacts of the aging population so that we can collectively find solutions.
Okay. Barry, when do you see that happening?
Within the coming weeks after we have the roundtable discussion this week.
Okay. And if it's essential for the recovery of the economy to increase the resident population, does that mean we may have to relax the Bermudians' first approach to employment?
I think the aim is to increase the working population, and the Bermudian first approach would say that we want full employment of Bermudians. That is still our primary aim. Then where we have jobs that cannot be filled by Bermudians based off of a misalignment of skill sets, we certainly want to be in a position to facilitate the expatriate labor that companies need to succeed.
Okay. No, I have no further questions.
Thank you, Minister. Gareth Finnegan, Royal Gazette. First of all, could we just go back to the GDP figures? You ran through them. Do you have them from 2017?
Correct.
And that's, what was it for 2017, sorry?
You want the
The GDP.
GDP
The-
at
right.
constant prices from
Yep.
2017, and these are all featured in the report,
Yep.
would be in 2017, 6.45 billion. In
And then-
2018,
Yep.
6.43 billion. In 2019, 6.45 billion. In 2020,
Yep.
6 billion.
Right.
In 2021, 6.33.
Way off. 17, 2016, 2015. We're still below that, aren't we?
We're certainly do that, but I wouldn't say way off. Economic growth for major downturn is hard to achieve to get back to the normalcy of pre-pandemic levels.
Sure.
We also understand the shock that closure of Fairmont, Southampton would have to our economy. That is an economic hub within itself and responsible for over 50,000 gas visits on an annual basis. And so we would anticipate or expect some level of impact. But what you will see is that 14, industrial sectors actually expanded. And that shows that the majority of industries in our economy are continuing to have positive economic performance at the downturn.
But employment contracted.
Employment in 2020 and employment is lagging. We anticipate employment to improve significantly in 2022.
Why do you believe that?
And the data that we have from social insurance payments and payroll tax over the first few quarters of this year has been positive. I done first quarter GDP and consumer spending, household spending was still strong, which would indicate that there's still significant households receiving income is fueling the economy.
Okay. Getting back to improving the economy, and specifically the economic recovery plan, you mentioned much that there were 4 projects that you were focusing on the recognition of KPMG. That was the time incinerator, vertical farming, the casino industry, and the development of North East Hamilton. Update on those.
I will provide a fulsome update on the recovery plan and the 31 initiatives associated with that plan. I meet with the team on a weekly basis, and there's been significant movement in a number of areas that I'll be happy to share with the public.
Okay. Why are you focusing on those 4? That KPMG identified these as critical initiatives deemed most likely to generate a significant economic impact in the short and medium term. In what way is vertical farming going to have a significant socio-economic impact?
So if we look at vertical farming in a new industry and creating additional jobs, but the way in which plan to have like technology more as sustainable development. We can use the first habits. The industry will have a wide
And what's the progress on that? Because I think it was back in November of 2020, almost 2 years ago, Wayne Furbert said that government was close to finalising an agreement with a overseas to do that was almost 2 years ago.
so it's an market. The value for the vertical farm. Once the board finalized their agreement with Clara, certainly it will report to the minister who is responsible for okaying the project, and once that has been done, we'll move full steam ahead with application and that announcement from
Okay, but nevertheless, I think it's roughly about half of agricultural land in Bermuda isn't being used at the moment. Have any attempts been made to try and utilise that land?
certainly the Ministry of Affairs be discussing our entire food security strategy. The cost of living in Bermuda is extremely high. The cost of living in Bermuda is extremely high, and we need sustainable options. And if we're going to find an option, it has to begin with an increase of domestic production.
Okay. What's the latest on casinos? I mean, I think it was in January, the Gaming Commission said that it was hopeful that the first casino open within 6 months. Obviously, we passed that deadline. Any idea on when the first casino might open?
That matter is still with the Gaming Commission.
You don't have any idea as to when might be deadline. You said that confident that employment in 2022 to be far more landscape. Could you just again reiterate what you meant by that and why?
So if you look at the first quarter GDP, consumption remains extremely strong. Also, consumption is directly linked to income that is so actually received. Addition to that, if you look at social insurance data and payroll tax data for a particular quarter, you can see a trend. Now, this is anecdotal data and secondary information that we utilize to make primary assumptions. But by all measures and having ongoing dialogue with industry, employment opportunities are expanding with the economy.
Got a question about the consumer report. The June report, the index for fuel power in June 2021 was 24.3, baseline figure of 100 for April 2015. And in June 22, it had risen to 11.3, 18%. And in the actual document itself, it says that the percentage increase year on year from June 21 to June 22 was just 2.6. Is that accurate? Is that a typo?
A technical was made. We will provide to the media query that was actually to the ministry.
It's on Monday.
Right. And so, in the process of what I will say is it was what my technical review was made. We did not highlight that technical review, the publication of that document, and so we'll be in a position to provide you with the media query.
But say that between June 21 and June 22, the price of fuel and power by approximately 18%. Despite the technical,
I think what we're looking at is the fuel and power sector rather than the price of fuel. Two separate things. Multiple components
right?
in it, and so that response will be provided to you.
Okay. Mr. Curtis Dickinson's presentation on Monday night, BUI. He was the economy. It's we've got to get that down. And there are two basically very simple ways. We've got to means increase and curtail spending. Do you agree with that?
The Premier will be providing a full economic update this Friday in the House of Assembly.
But you're the Minister for the Economy, so I'm asking you.
Certainly. So what you're asking is this pertains to its fiscal position, which is covered by the Ministry of Finance. My overall view, in order for us to have a sustainable economy, we need economic growth, which leads to real sustainable economic development and the expansion of jobs. Government's fiscal position is not directly aligned with the country's economic performance.
Okay. One final question coming from Mr. Dickinson's presentation. As you know, we don't have a figure, but it appears hundreds or thousands of comedians have left the island in the last. Mr. Dickinson was saying that to attract them, have real jobs, real opportunities here. Agree with that, and what do you think?
Look at the report we put out in the challenges of an aging population. Strategies that we will be using to enforce is looking at the matter of immigration and how we attract Bermudians back. We will have robust and fulsome conversations and dialogues within the ministry to determine what strategies can be utilized to attract persons back to our shores, to attract our young persons who go overseas and study, to return home and take up full employment. But like I said, our aim with that particular policy is full employment of Bermudians, and that includes Bermudians who are currently domiciled here and Bermudians who are not domiciled here as well.
The great deal of service jobs are held by guest workers. Why do you think that is, and what can be done to encourage Bermudians to get into the field? Is government doing anything specific, or is that a private sector?
The government is doing something. We have a national employment strategy and we have a youth employment strategy. There's areas that we have where there are shortages of Bermudian demand. We will work with industry by training and development so that Bermuda is healed up in that particular area. The youth employment strategy is specifically designed to get our young persons prepared for the current and future world of work. That includes this current patients which are in demand, and on Friday I'll be rolling out significant that we're taking in regards to the execution of our youth employment strategy. The national re-employment strategy certainly previous press conference highlighted the positive outcomes of that particular strategy in the process and we'll wait to see the result of the work that we're doing.
Thank you. We have no further questions. I just want to give the Minister an opportunity if you have anything further you'd like to add before we end this press conference.
Certainly, the numbers that were released today in terms of economic performance is encouraging. The expansion of international business sector continue to have confidence in this particular role in the equation to ensure that business ecosystem that allows companies to thrive. We see a greater level